A young professional named David was walking through an airport terminal when he noticed two coffee shops selling virtually identical beverages. The first shop offered a basic coffee for $4, while the second shop charged $7 for what appeared to be the exact same drink. What David did next was astonishing, because he willingly paid $7 without realizing his brain had just been tricked by an invisible mechanism. If you have ever spent money on something you later regretted, then you have experienced the exact same psychological trap that costs average people thousands. Modern behavioral science shows that our daily financial choices are shaped by subtle cognitive illusions, engineered to exploit primitive instincts. Psychologists have spent decades mapping these mental shortcuts, yet almost nobody ever sits down to explain how they impact your everyday bank account. I break down one psychological concept per video in plain English, so if you want to understand your money mindset, then subscribe and hit the bell. The first major illusion hiding inside your daily routine is something that Nobel laureate Richard Thaler defined as the principle of mental accounting. Imagine receiving an unexpected tax refund of $500 alongside your normal hard-earned monthly paycheck of $5,000. Rationally speaking, every single dollar possesses identical purchasing power, but your brain instantly sorts these two funds into completely different mental buckets. You will likely protect your salary fiercely while burning through the refund on impulse buys because your mind labels unearned money as play tokens. When researchers analyzed spending habits, they discovered that people treat windfalls with far less discipline than money earned through standard labor. Corporations understand this mental accounting flaw intimately, which is precisely why store gift cards and digital app tokens exist in retail ecosystems. By converting real cash into digital casino chips or app balances, companies effectively erase the psychological pain of paying for your purchases. But before we explore the most deceptive pricing trick ever created, we must first examine how choices are rigged against your logical brain. Imagine you are standing in a movie theater, attempting to decide between a small popcorn for $3 and a large popcorn for $7. Most consumers naturally choose the $3 option because $7 feels like an excessive jump for salted corn kernels in a paper bucket. But notice what happens when the theater owner introduces a medium popcorn priced at $6.50 right beside the other options. Suddenly, the $7 large popcorn looks like an incredible bargain because it costs only 50 cents more than the medium-size option. Behavioral economist Dan Ariely proved through extensive experiments that adding this useless third option completely manipulates human decisions. Researchers call this phenomenon the Decoy effect, and it forces consumers to buy higher-priced items while genuinely believing they saved money. Think about the last time you upgraded a subscription or selected a middle option because you were likely nudged by a carefully placed decoy. The decoy does not exist to be purchased. It exists solely to make the target expensive product look like an irresistible bargain to you. Now stay with me, because what I am about to show you in the next 2 minutes exposes how price tags manipulate your perception of value. When you enter a high-end clothing boutique, the first item displayed near the entrance is frequently a luxury jacket priced at $2,000. You would likely never buy that jacket, but your brain immediately absorbs that initial figure as a reference anchor for everything else in the store. As you walk deeper into the shop and spot a shirt for $200, it suddenly feels reasonable compared to the initial $2,000. Psychologists Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman demonstrated that human minds rely heavily on the first piece of information offered during decisions. This anchoring bias means that MSRP prices and cross-out discount tags are often artificial benchmarks designed to alter your value perception. When a retail site displays an original price of $100 slashed down to $50, your brain registers a triumph rather than an expense. You did not save $50 during that transaction. You simply spent $50 on an item that may only be worth $20. This brings us to the dark emotional engine that keeps people trapped in harmful financial cycles long after they realize what is happening. Behavioral scientists have repeatedly proven that the psychological pain of losing money is twice as powerful as the joy of gaining the same amount. Daniel Kahneman won a Nobel Prize for establishing prospect theory, which proves that humans are naturally wired to avoid losses over seeking gains. If you find a $100 bill on the sidewalk, you feel a brief mood bump, but losing $100 ruins your entire afternoon. Subscription companies exploit this loss aversion ruthlessly by offering free trial periods that make you feel like you already own the service. Once the trial ends, canceling feels like losing access to something yours. So you continue paying monthly charges to avoid that sensation of loss. What you just learned about spending explains your purchases, but it also reveals why people stay stuck in unfulfilling jobs for decades. Consider a professional named Sarah who spent 5 years working toward a corporate promotion that brought a significant raise and higher prestige. During the first month of her new salary, Sarah felt thrilled, but within half a year, her happiness baseline returned to its exact original level. She upgraded her apartment, purchased a newer car, and dined at finer restaurants. Yet her overall life satisfaction remained completely unchanged. Psychologists Brickman and Campbell named this trap the Hedonic Treadmill, which describes our uncanny ability to quickly adapt to improved circumstances. As your income rises, your expectations and lifestyle expand in tandem, leaving you running endlessly on a financial wheel without moving forward. This is the exact reason why earning more money rarely solves financial anxieties, unless you intentionally control your baseline expectations. So now you see the complete picture of how modern economic illusions operate in harmony to direct your decisions every single day. From mental accounting to decoy options, price anchors, loss aversion, and lifestyle inflation, the entire system is designed to keep you spending. But here is the empowering reality. Once you recognize these psychological patterns in action, their controlling power over your mind evaporates completely. You can counteract mental accounting by treating every dollar as identical wealth, regardless of whether it came from labor or a surprise gift. You can defeat decoy pricing by asking yourself if you would buy the product on its own merits without comparing it to adjacent options. You can neutralize anchoring bias by researching objective product values before stepping into retail stores or opening online shopping applications. You can overcome loss aversion by viewing subscription cancellations not as losing access, but as reclaiming control over your hard-earned income. And you can break the hedonic treadmill by deliberately pausing to practice gratitude before allowing your spending habits to expand with new income. So let us pull this entire breakdown together so you can carry these insights with you into your very next financial decision tomorrow morning. First, remember that your brain treats unearned windfalls carelessly due to mental accounting, so discipline every dollar equally, regardless of its source. Second, watch out for useless decoy options designed solely to make expensive choices appear cheaper during subscription and retail purchases. Third, recognize that initial anchor prices skew your value judgment, so always assess items based on real utility rather than slashed discounts. Fourth, understand that fear of loss keeps you paying for unused subscriptions and holding on to bad investments far longer than necessary. And finally, remember that lifestyle expansion will reset your happiness baseline, so measure progress by freedom rather than accumulated possessions. If this video helped you understand the hidden mechanisms controlling daily decisions, please subscribe and turn on notification alerts right now. Share this video with one person you care about, because one honest conversation about money mindset could transform their financial future forever.